it's Friday, man. Shout out to you guys. I'm trying to let Ash finish her food, but she's not stopping, or she's not eating fast enough. So we're just going to start the show. Thank you guys for being here. I'm RicoKnows, and I'm on a whole nother level of crazy tonight. It is Friday. It feels great. I'm in the gym. I'm killing it. So I'm revitalized. I got all this energy. Something on my shoulder. What is this? What is this? Oh, I got to get the dirt off my shoulder, player. Let me tell you guys something. We dominated last night. MVPs. How do you feel right now, bro? How does it feel to be an MVP? I don't know, but I can tell you this. We got 50 new MVPs today. 50. Shout out to the one guy who quit. We got one new guy, showed up today, got on the Discord server, said, hey, Rico, do you provide NFL picks? I said, no, get that disgusting stuff away from me. I said, no, it's hard to provide picks on a sport I don't watch. Dude quit being an MVP right there on the spot. Doesn't want to win any money. Don't understand it. Not worried about it. Shout out to the MVPs. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we can do this. We can do this, bro. First and foremost, Northwestern State might be one of the worst teams of all time. They lose the game 87-10 on an abbreviated time clock, which is great for us because South Alabama came to play. I thought there would be a weather issue here. The weatherman lied to me. I initially was on South Alabama to cover the 35.5-point spread, and then I flipped it, and I was like, nah, man, there's going to be bad weather. There's no way they score more than 35 or enough 45 points. That's just not happening. So I'm like, they're not going to cover this spread. We'll go ahead and take Northwestern State to cover the spread. And boy, was I wrong. First and foremost, weather was fine. Fluff Bothwell ran for 143 yards on 7 carries. And everyone on that team went ham. I don't know how many people scored touchdowns. It was insane. And the only saving grace for the night was the sports books voided out the game. That's right. Doesn't matter if you got it right or wrong. They voided out the game. And the reason for this is pretty simple. When you don't play 55 minutes of a game, the sports books will void it out and no one gets paid. This is beautiful for my MVPs who might have taken the wrong side of that bet. So yes, this has happened before. 2 other games in week 1, it happened. I know specifically the Southern Miss Kentucky game, it was halted due to lightning strikes or delayed, right? They didn't pay it out even though Kentucky won the game in a shutout. So you have a South Alabama team, nobody got paid. Fine, whatever. But the next one, the Arizona State, Texas State football game, they were telling me, Rico, oh my God, all the cappers, all the internet cappers, all the guys on Twitter and everybody, all the money's on Texas State. They're flipping the line. That's why Texas State's the favorite now. And I'm sitting over here going, I don't care, bro. I'm on Arizona State money line. I don't care about no spread. I'm on Arizona State money line. But they're underdogs now. Yeah, bro. Do you know what I'm hitting? Do you know what I'm batting when we're going with underdogs? Guys, I can't show you the chart right now. MVPs know this, and this is a fact. I'm over 70% when I pick an underdog to win money line. I'm over 70% this season when I pick an underdog to win money line. True story. And tonight there are 2 games, and I can tell you that one of these underdogs, I picked a money line. It's either going to make my percentage go up or down. That's how life works. But my goodness, it's not just that I got the money line right for Arizona State. I got everything right, y'all. I told the MVPs we're taking the under. We can start it at 59, but we should go to 62.5. Bro, what is that under? What is the score here? It's 59. With a scalpel. I precisioned this thing with a scalpel. I said 59.5 under. We're taking it, bro. MVP's like, I got you, Rico. I'm tailing. I said, all right, do you, bro. You're going to be okay. Some people took it. Hey, and I know it was 59 points going into the 4th quarter. I know it was scary. You guys are, I think it was 56 going into the 4th quarter. You boys were shaking. I wasn't shaking. I was baking. Shake and bake, shake and bake. We did it, bro. We won so big. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. I can't thank myself enough. Slept like a baby. That means I slept for 3 hours and woke up crying. No, I slept so good, bro. I woke up this morning. We go to the gym. We're grinding in the gym. Nobody stank in the gym today. The day before, somebody smelled awful. And I just was in the gym the whole time I'm doing my reps and I'm doing my stuff. The whole time I just keep thinking, I got to get home and make another video. I got to make these MVPs more money. And that video is on Patreon right now, breaking down these 2 games tonight. Yes, we're going to live stream the UNLV at Kansas game. And then we'll be up all night until the end of the Arizona at K-State game. But I provided a 30-minute, half an hour. You can watch it on 1.5 speed. Get it done in 20 minutes. You can watch the video, and I talk to you about all the different props, parlays, matchups, how I think the games are going to go. And when you watch the game, if you're an MVP, this is why MVPs stick around the whole year. It is not for the picks. It is not for the picks. It is for the analysis. You know how many MVPs took South Alabama money line, or took South Alabama, to cover the spread? They faded me. You know why they faded me? Because I gave them a video and I gave them accurate analysis. I said South Alabama will easily cover this 35.5 point spread. If the weather's good, they're going to cover the spread. This is one of the worst teams in America. They haven't won a game in 2 years. When I give analysis, it's my assessment of what's going to happen in the game. And time again, I have been right. When I tell you guys I've been right on my analysis, 90% of the time. I'm not exaggerating. And I've done analysis on over 400 games. 90% of the time I'm right on my analysis. Here's where we miss. We miss when kickers don't make their field goals. We miss when coaches go for it on 4th down and don't make it. We miss when there's certain penalties, certain performances that suck. Like, I can remember very vividly picking a game, and I was like, hey, guys, this starting quarterback is the worst. We got to pick the other team. We just got to. And he was the worst, and I was so right. And then he got benched in the second quarter. And there was too much time left on the clock. The backup comes off the bench and brings them back. They were down 21 points. It was 24-3. They were down 24-3 at half. They come back to win the game 42-24. I can't make predictions like that. But the assessment, the analysis, spot on every time. And the reason is I just know the players. I know the players. That's how I get it right. I watch them, I evaluate them, and I know every team in America. Shout out to the MVPs, man. You guys make my life possible. You guys are amazing. And to see, I got a new annual MVP. Let me tell you how good it felt. I was going to bed last night at midnight. At midnight, one of the MVPs changed his membership to annual last night because of what went down. He changed it to be an annual MVP. I appreciate him. If you didn't know, you get a 15% discount when you become an annual member. And you can be with us all year round. We do UFC all year round. We make money every week. It's once a week. None of this nightly pick shit. The guys who show up on the server like, where are the picks today? Where are the picks today? Bro, I don't care. It takes me a week to do some analysis. You get one video a week. You make one smart move a week. It'll feel like a paycheck soon enough. Trying to do it every single day. We ain't day traders, bro. I don't just randomly give picks. Oh, look, here's the 4 games you need to do. No run scored first inning. These are baseball picks. No run scored first inning. They just give you like 4 of them. And go, yeah, those are the ones. And just keep it moving. They miss. They don't care. They hit. They just keep it moving. That is not what I'm doing, bro. I'm doing analysis for months before these matchups take place. It's the only way you can know these guys. So, that being said, let's get the show started, bro. Shout out to me. I'm on top of the world. First things first. Peyton Thorne could be benched versus New Mexico. I called this in the offseason. If you don't know, I do futures videos all offseason long for the MVPs. I do win totals videos, and I give you a rundown of every single team. I do an in-depth analysis on every single team in America. I think this offseason I only did like 80 videos. So I did all the Power 5, Power 4, and then I did select group of 5 teams, and then I went back and did a recap of every single conference at the end of the summer to make sure I was accurate right before the season started. Right before week 0, went out and I recapped every conference. Those futures videos are on Patreon. You still can't see them, but most of the futures videos on YouTube are open to the public. If you just go to the right playlist, it's called the Win Totals playlist or College Football Futures playlist. I made all the videos that I made in the offseason public. You can go watch them. People are watching the shit out of them. I get comments on them all day long. People just go and watch the old videos and just tell me how right I was or how wrong I was. Oh my God, you said this in the offseason? It's happening. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And one of the things I said was Peyton Thorne, although he's returning back for his second season as the starting quarterback, he will not be treated as the starting quarterback. He will not be treated with a long leash. He will not be treated like the incumbent and somebody who doesn't have to worry about the bench. If he has one bad game, and I said if he throws 3 interceptions, and he ended up throwing 4 last week against Cal, but I said if he throws 3 interceptions, he's going to have to look over his shoulder because they will bench him. And the reason I made that assessment is because when you have a new offensive coordinator, everybody's got a clean slate. That dude's not loyal to anybody. He just got there. He's assessing everybody. I don't care who you are or what you think you did. What have you done for me lately? And they assessed him, and now they're starting Hank Brown. Hank Brown's not bad. I like Walter White. They got a guy named Walker White, I think. Walter White. Is it Walter White? White Walker? WW, bro. They got a freshman I really like. Hank Brown's fine. Hope he plays well against New Mexico. I'd be interested in that spread. I think New Mexico was underdogs by 28.5 points. If that's the case, New Mexico can score, guys. New Mexico can score on anybody. You should watch them play. Devin Dampier is better than any quarterback at Auburn. I said it. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt still not cleared by the NCAA. And Brock Vandagriff is probable versus Georgia. No one cares. And that's the only updates I have injury-wise that I want to talk about. So today we talk about independence and we talk about the Mountain West. Before we get there, I just want to remind you there are 2 games tonight. The watch party, UNLV at Kansas. Let's go see Matthew Sluka and see what he can do. Him and Ricky White. Yeah, him and Ricky White trying to beat Kansas. Kansas is loaded. And then Arizona, T-Mac and Fafita show up and try to figure it out. Try to beat K-State. Underdogs. See what happens. If you want an in-depth analysis on those 2 games, you know what to do. Get to Patreon, become a member. Oh, by the way, we do have a member on YouTube. We did get an MVP on YouTube. You can be an MVP on YouTube. You just don't get the same screenshots and the same accessibility, but you do get access to the Discord server. If you connect your YouTube account to Discord, you'll get it like everybody else, and there you'll get the screenshots and accessibility. But we do have YouTube MVPs. I think we have over 200 of them. So it pays to be a YouTube MVP. I'm just saying. All you have to do is hit the join button while you're watching this show. All right, but you can't be an annual member. YouTube does not allow it. Doesn't give you the discount. Patreon gives you the discount. 15% off, essentially 2 free months. And, yeah, we prefer Patreon, but shout out to YouTube. You can get it done. All right, independence. So the first one is Notre Dame. Notre Dame loses to Northern Illinois, and nobody really saw this coming. What I did see coming was I had a lot of respect for Northern Illinois in the offseason. I famously said they were my favorite MAC team. After doing analysis, they were the number 1 MAC team for me. I thought their defense was great. I thought Ontario Brown is him, and I really like this team. So for me, NIU's my favorite in the MAC. Didn't think they would beat Notre Dame, but on this particular day, Riley Leonard turned into a pumpkin. Riley Leonard had games like this while at Duke, where he just did not get it done. And that's exactly what happened here. Yes, your offensive line is weak. You have trouble with certain things, but if you have a good run game, I don't want to hear you blaming the offensive line. You need a better decision maker with that ball every single play. And that's Riley Leonard, and he looked trash. He looked absolutely terrible. And when he plays bad, your entire wide receiver core becomes irrelevant. And that's important because once your quarterback's bad and your wide receiver core is irrelevant, now all you have left is a porous offensive line and some really good running backs. That's not going to win you the game. Nope. Not going to win you the game. Shout out to Jeremiah Love. He's been looking great. He's good for a touchdown every single game. I like it. He looks like the alpha male in the room. And I like to see him pulling away from Price. And obviously Payne is injured right now. Shout out to Tank. He makes albums with names like that. Bo Collins, the Clemson transfer, actually getting some repetitions, some receptions, some targets. Not enough. Jaden Greathouse, not enough. These are guys that I should see moving chains, stretching the field, beating you in the red zone, getting touchdowns. I'm not seeing anything like that from this receiving core. And I don't know if it's Riley Leonard can't get them the ball or they can't get separation, but nothing about this wide receiver room moves me. While in the entire offseason, all Notre Dame fans did was spam me about how great their wide receiver room was and how great their quarterback room is. And I'm sitting there saying, okay, if you think Angeli is the answer, then more power to you. But I just don't see how Chris Mitchell is going to make any impact on your win-loss total. Please understand that. When Chris Mitchell hit the transfer portal, I did not start singing his praises. The recruiting websites did. They went and ranked him all higher, and they're like, bro, you've never seen an FIU football game. That's a Conference USA player. That guy can't impact win-loss totals in important games. And you're learning that right now. Is everything is just, it's false hope, man. It's, I used to have these guys. I'm just going to tell you guys. I used to have these employees, and I was a first sergeant in the Army, so a lot of people worked for me. Hundreds. Not exaggerating, right? If you're familiar with the military structure, you know this. So hundreds of guys work for me, and one day I have these platoon sergeants come in. They've been in the Army at least 10 to 15 years, so they're very experienced. And I tell these guys, hey, I need the following things done in the motor pool. I need the following things done. Yeah, I need you to do inventory, do this, do this, do this, do this. And I'm talking to 4 platoon sergeants. One of the platoon sergeants is taking diligent notes, not saying anything. He's just working hard. The next guy is just watching, paying attention, and he's looking over at his battle buddies like, you taking good notes? Because I'm going to use your notes later. The third guy is interrupting me while I'm talking, which is insane. And he's like, Top. And that's what you call the first sergeant. He says, Top, I got this. We're going to get all this shit done today. Ain't nothing to worry about. We make it all happen. Da-da-da. I said, well, listen, slow down. I said, when you get this done, I want you to block and brace your connexes. I'm giving them instructions on how to transport material. It's a military thing. And I said, I want binders done with inventory sheets, and I want this, and then I'm explaining it all. No confusion. And I even gave them a template of what I wanted, the finished product. I gave each of them a template. And this guy keeps talking about how he's going to make it happen and all this stuff. And I'm hearing them, and I said, hey guys, listen, I want to see all 4 of you back here by COB today. And you'll back brief me on your results. So COB close of business. For me, that's 1,700. That's when I release all the soldiers. I stay in work as your first sergeant. You don't get off of work at 1,700. You work till probably 2,100. But I remember they all went off. Boom, they go to the motor. They're doing their thing. And I remember around lunchtime, and this was at 9 a.m., so around lunchtime, around noon, I just went over there and just went to go pass by the motor pool. And what you guys need to understand is each one of these men that I'm talking to, they have 30 employees. Their platoon sergeants, they have about 30 people working for them. So the key here is to delegate it down, manage your personnel, and learn how to manage things and lead things and get things done and ensure quality assurance, quality control, ensure processes are getting done. And you need to be able to, motivate, lead, inspire, all that shit. But more importantly, get the desired end state. Make sure the product looks exactly like I asked for. Make sure you meet the suspense or the deadline. And just meet expectations, if you will. So I can see 2 of the platoons really getting after it. I see a bunch of dudes out on the pad. They're laying things out. They're doing inventory. They're checking things off. I see dudes with clipboards. I see people counting things, people cleaning things. I see a lot of Army stuff going on, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. And then I look on the other side, and it's like 2 guys, and I don't even see the platoon sergeant. I just see 2 random dudes trying to do the same job that 16 other guys are doing across the pad over there. And I'm like, what is this shit? So now close of business comes. Mind you, 1,600. 2 guys pull up into my office. The 2 guys that were taking the diligent notes and his battle buddy, they pull up with their binders ready to present and back brief me on it. They had a list of shortages. They had a list of this. They were ready, bro. It was great. I was so impressed. They did exactly what I asked. It was awesome. And while I was briefing them, they didn't make any promises to me. They didn't say, we're going to get this done today in 2 hours. Too easy, Top, too easy. But that idiot who was talking and talking and talking. He shows up to my office at 17:30. 17:15, I call him. He's still not there. I call him. Said, hey, where you at? Oh, Chop, something came up. I'm on my way home right now. Excuse me? Turn your ass around. I'm in my office waiting for you, and I won't wait 10 more minutes. Get your ass here. And I hung up on him. So he shows up with just the template folder, not even his own work, didn't do anything, didn't allocate soldiers to get it done on time, didn't understand the process, couldn't figure it out, just failure every way possible. I literally fired him that day. He was no longer a platoon sergeant, relief for cause. You're done, bro. No warnings, no redos, nothing. And what I taught him was, don't you ever overpromise and underdeliver. Don't you ever overpromise and underdeliver. Don't you ever defy the time constraints given to you, the expectations. But you can't even effectively lead 30 people. I bring all this up to tell you that when I look at Notre Dame, I see a team that overpromises and underdelivers every single time. If you just shut your damn mouth and go out and execute, we'd all be pretty surprised if you overachieved the expectations. Like NIU. Have you heard them bragging about how they're going to win the MAC? Have you heard them bragging about how great they are and how they dominated the transfer portal? No. But I got to hear it from Notre Dame. I got to hear it from Auburn. I got to hear it from Florida. All offseason, the fan bases, the coaches, the media personnel, Josh Pate, all these losers, Pickle something, J.D. Pickle, all these idiots just going and making hot takes. This team right here, they would be like 9-win team in another conference. Oh, this team right here, they would do this and they would do that. Just constantly missing. It's tiresome. If I had it my way, these guys don't need to be ranked in the preseason. There's nothing about Notre Dame that says they're one of the top teams in America. Nothing. They beat A&M. Well, how bad is A&M? Because Connor Wegman looks like shit. The only thing that I saw from Riley Leonard was he did a Connor Wegman impersonation this week. You can't do this. This is the 10th season in a row I've seen this shit from Notre Dame. I'm never moved by them. Overpromise, underdeliver. I know their names for all the wrong reasons. It's bad. Defensively, Rico, they got so many pros. They got Benjamin Morris. He's the best ever. Just shut up. I'm watching them play, and they're not effective. R.J. Obin, not effective. Like people, I could go down the list. Jordan Clark, transfer. Ryan Clark's son. Zero impact in this game. Zero. Oh, but Rico, we got amazing players. Yeah. Trash. And they got an easy schedule. Merrimack. Hey, if you guys ever want to fade a team and just pick against them all season long, I'm going to tell you it's Merrimack. Merrimack played a really close game with Air Force, and what I learned at the end of this game is Air Force is bad. Like, Air Force played a close game with Merrimack. Air Force is bad. UConn, did that first game against Maryland, was it a fluke? Was there something going on? Because here they are, 35 points, 56 points at half. I'm sitting there going, oh my goodness. 56 at half? Insane. Who are you playing against? So, Joe Fagnano here, former starting quarterback at Maine back in 2022. Transfers over to UConn, hasn't been the starter, haven't been getting that fair chance. And look at him. Nick Evers could never. What a great game for him. But Merrimack looks gross. Darrell Robinson, the Charlotte transfer, comes out, runs really well against a terrible team. Mel Brown, the Gardner-Webb transfer running back, runs really well. Congratulations. And it looks like Victor Rosa's getting phased out, and that's wild because for a while there, Victor Rosa was supposed to be the running back for UConn. And they're phasing him out, and they're bringing in these two young guys. And I'm telling you, Darrell Robinson is nice. He was good at Charlotte. He just said, let me get the hell out of this hellhole. And then Mel Brown, proving he can play at the FBS level. Well, let's be real. He's proven that he could dominate an FCS team with FBS teammates. Wide receiver, Skylar Bell is him. Skylar Bell was great at Wisconsin last year. He was like the third leading receiver when you look at receptions. Skylar Bell is a very good receiver. What's really surprising to me when I look at this production and I watch the game, Shamar Porter, the transfer from Kentucky, former 4-star, they want to ignore him now. And I'm telling you, bro, these recruiting websites are criminal. I'm going to get into it a little later. But Shamar Porter playing well. Honig, the German, he's not even American, doing his thing. Sheffield not getting any reps. And my God, Josiah Gathings, you regret transferring? You were the leading receiver at Akron. You were the go-to guy at Akron. You were the guy depended upon, and you're still not getting in that rotation. You're not these guys. And I already told you guys, I don't think Josiah Gathings, I think he has character concerns. He does a lot of extra antics after every play. After every play, he wants to argue with somebody, point at something, do something. It's like, act like you've been there, bro. If I was a coach, and I've been a football coach before, when I have players like this, they just like act out. Hey, get them off the field, bro. Get us somebody else out there, bro. We're going to win anyways. Get him off the field. I don't know if he's in the doghouse or what, but he's not in that rotation. Shout out to Jaden McDonald, the leading tackler from Troy last year, transferred in from Indiana. Obviously, Troy as well. He never really played at Indiana, just went to spring ball there. But leading the team in tackles, no surprise. Jelani Stafford, if you ever want to see a really good huddle film, go watch Stafford in high school. He was a running back. He's now a 300-pound defensive tackle. He was a 260-pound Jerome Bettis-looking running back. Jelani Stafford, my hidden gem on this team. The Simon brothers showed up. Jaden and Julian, obviously transferred from USC and Tulsa. I know it sounds a little weird, but that's where they went. They went from USC to Tulsa, from Tulsa to here. But it looked pretty good. And then Jack Barton, the Georgia Tech transfer, actually getting in the game. Congratulations. But I don't know what we're going to do with UConn. I don't know yet. Who do they play this week? They play somebody. Basketball. Think basketball. Who is Duke? They play Duke. Yikes. I don't know. And then we got UMass. And if you thought Colorado had the worst offensive line, you don't know what you're talking about. It's UMass. UMass has the worst offensive line I've seen. They get walked through. They give up sack after sack after sack almost every single time. And for whatever reason, they're throwing the ball 40 times a game. They can't pass protect, and they're letting Tyson run the ball 22 times. This is insane to me. Is he that much better than everybody on your team? Does no one else know the plays? We got to do something else, bro. Hey, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different outcome. 22 carries, 44 yards. Bro, understand he got 25 of them on one carry. He got 25 on one play. Do you guys understand what's going on here? That means 21 carries. This homie got 19 yards on 21 carries. Why are we doing this? What's wrong with Jalen John, the Arizona transfer? What's wrong with Brandon Campbell? Where's Brandon Campbell from? Houston? Houston transfer. Dude, do something, bro. Do something. Man, this team is bad. And then Sterling Galvin, hold on to the ball. Shout out to him. White dude. White receiver. I don't like this team at all. UMass might be the worst team in America. They got to be. Well, Kent State. I mean, I don't know how to argue that one. I don't know how to get there. All right. So, matchups this week. UMass playing Buffalo. What's the spread? -4? We're not sure how good Buffalo is. We know they beat Lafayette, an FCS school. Can they beat UMass? According to my talent chart, I think I have UMass ahead of Buffalo. According to my talent chart. So, money line. UMass, bro. UMass, money line. Do it. Do it, MVPs. Do it. Oh, man. Purdue, Notre Dame. I really like the way Purdue looked in week 1. I like the way they match up with Notre Dame. I I think the spread reflects that. Yeah, Hudson Card's playing out of his mind, bro. And Purdue has had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. 2 weeks. With a defensive guru head coach, Hudson Card. Man, I like Purdue. Cover that spread. Here it is, Duke, UConn. Man, there ain't no way Duke's doing this to UConn. I know Maryland smoked them. There's no way. I don't think Duke covers that spread. Duke looked bad. Come on, UConn, don't let me down. Cover that spread, bro. Not on the chart at all. All right, before I get into the Mountain West, we're going to jump over to the chat. Thanks for being here, guys. Let's go to the chat. Thanks for being a part of the show. Ooh, not a lot of chat to deal with. I like that. Let's interact. It's a Friday. We want to get the show done, and we want to get on to the live stream tonight. I like a break in between, to be honest. All right, let's see what we got. Dalton Baker just became an MVP. Congratulations, Dalton Baker. Thank you for trusting me. That's what I do, bro. I'm RicoKnows. K Saddy says, what up, Rico? Have great day to have another great day tonight. Man, I hope, because you're only as good as your last mistake, and if we miss, these MVPs are going to be pissed. They're going to riot. Breakin says, UNLV on the sweep of the Big 12 en route to the Pac-8. Breakin. Wishful thinking, bro. Wishful thinking. Jalen Rohn says, you had South Alabama at first. I did, Rohn. I did. I did. Armin says, good to see you, Rico. What a sweaty win last night. 7-0 run for me on MVP locks. Become an MVP, y'all. So, yeah, Armin, let me know. He's 7-0 on his bets. Please understand, some MVPs are better than others. I do not dictate unit size. I do not dictate what you should tail. It's not how it works. I give you a whole menu of things to choose from. Some MVPs pick and choose wisely. They pick and choose off the menu accurately and wisely, and that's exactly what Armin did and does. He's 7-0. 7 picks in a row. Getting it right. It's pretty cool. Shout out to him. Carla Jenkins, good to see you, girl, says, RicoKnows. Put them number 11 on the FCS Group of 5 ratings. Maybe Freeman should have watched that video. Hey, so if you don't know what she's referring to, I did a top 25 preseason poll, but only Group of 5 schools. My top 25 Group of 5 schools in the preseason, I ranked them, and number 11 was Northern Illinois. And I know people were up in arms about it. I got a ton of comments. Since when is NIU ahead of Miami of Ohio and Toledo? In what world? And I'm like, well, in 2021 when they won the conference. But okay, anyways. They're just attacking me for what I said. Maybe Notre Dame should have paid attention. Just saying. Maybe they should have paid attention. Apparently, whatever Notre Dame gives away on film and whatever tells NIU had on Notre Dame, they let Notre Dame know, right? That's what Coach Hammock did. He went and had a meeting. He had a phone call and a couple texts, and he's letting Freeman know, right? He's letting Marcus Freeman know, hey, man, this is how we beat you, and this is why we beat you. And he's letting him know his weak points, trying to get him to improve and be better. He said he wants him to win because he's a black coach, wants him to win because that's who they played against. I'm not that guy, man. I'm not sharing shit with you, bro. I want your job. I'm not trying to make you better. I want your job. I'm the head coach at NIU. I just beat you. They should hire me to be your coach, to be the coach of Notre Dame. Give me those resources. I'll be amazing. I want your job. It's not how Hammond has it. He wants to go out there and make him a little better. All right, do you, bro. Weak as hell. And Notre Dame is going into Purdue this Saturday. The Boilermakers may play spoiler makers. They may be spoilers. I agree, Carla. Pretty sure. Cairo says 22 carries for 44 yards is nuts. Yeah, man. It really is. Especially when you get 25 yards on one carry. That's crazy. Somebody, please, for the love of God, stop. Call a new play. And you know what's crazy, Kairos? I watched it. I had to rewatch it, bro. I had to watch it with my own eyes. It's a hard watch. You just keep watching. You just fast forward to the next play. You're like, what the hell am I watching? Yeah, Groundhog Day. That's what I'm watching. Fuck Groundhog Day. All right, let's get after the Mountain West. This show will be quick. Thanks for being here, guys. Hope you learned about these teams. Let's go. All right, Mountain West. We'll start with Oregon and Boise State. First thing I want to say is, shout out to Oregon. You look like shit. Shout out to Boise State. You look exactly like I think you would, right? You're going to give up 37 points, which is a significant amount of points to give up, falling apart in the second half, and Genty's going to still go absolute ham. Go absolute ham. Congratulations. Chris Marshall, 5-star, transferring in from Texas A&M, doesn't make a difference. Chase Penry, transferred in 2 years ago from Colorado, doesn't make a difference. You can't really throw the ball. Oh, Cameron Camper, transfer from Indiana. I guess he's your guy. Ahmed Hassan got a sack. This guy is a sack master, one of the best you'll ever see on tape. Ahmed Hassanin. Ahmed is a beast, bro. I can't say his name. Don't judge me. I can't say those names. Can't say those names. I just show up in your country and take. Never mind. So yeah, Ahmed. There you go. He's a good sack master. He's doing his thing. But they didn't get it done, man. It was so close, but yet so far. It's a shame. They missed the field goal. It's a shame they couldn't get it done. They played well. Shout out to all these chicks on my screen, bro. They think the ad choices. I got chicks everywhere. I like it. You guys know I work on this computer. I don't do anything inappropriate. I don't think there's anything inappropriate to do on a computer, if you ask me. We're going to look at Utah State. Utah State, man, watch this game back. And I'm convinced USC's defense is like top 10. I'm convinced USC's defense is so fast and so mean. I can't even, sugarcoat it. They look amazing. This shutout was impressive. Bryson Barnes comes in, former Utah quarterback, doing his thing, looking terrible. Razul Faison, I like him a lot. Did a video on him on TikTok last year. Couldn't really get anything going. Shutting down all the star receivers. Kyrie White went ham in week 1. Does nothing against these DBs this time around. Jalen Royals stays out of the end zone. Usually scores touchdowns. Everybody sucks. Nobody's doing anything. It's amazing. It's amazing. The defense for USC is out of this world right now. And they play Utah this week, Utah State. It's going to be another defense that absolutely smacks these dudes. I guarantee you, Utah State's offensive output, like their stats for yards and everything, they're going to be some of the lowest in the country after this week. Some of the lowest in the whole country. Then we got UNLV. UNLV plays tonight. They go out and put 72 points up on Utah Tech. Shout out to Deacon Hill. We have a Deacon Hill sighting. This is the Iowa transfer. Was he Wisconsin? He was Iowa, right? He was the Iowa quarterback. He's the fattest guy. He's the youngest fat guy you'll ever see. Whatever reason, this dude's got a pot belly. How old is he, bro? He's 23? These guys got to understand, if you don't got a six-pack at this, he's 6'4", 260. If you don't got a six-pack in your 20s, you're going to have a rough 40s. I'm just telling you. We see it at the gym. I'm like, yo, babe, you know why I look this good? Because I looked even better when I was in my 20s. Deacon Hill is a disgustingly out of shape person. It's not an athlete, bro. It's gross. But let's talk about this. Matthew Sluka comes out with an emphasis on the pass. Remember, week 1 they played Houston. Sluka looked terrible throwing the ball. No production. Ricky White got nothing. It was terrible. But this time around, he throws 3 touchdowns. I thought it was still bad. The 3 touchdowns are because you're much better than Utah Tech. Your players are better. Your coaching is better. Everything is there, right? But you're still throwing an insane amount of incomplete passes. He's just off the mark. He can run. He's just off the mark. So then we go to running. Everybody got their yards and ran on these guys. All I'll say about this is shout out to Haj Malik Williams for at least getting in the game and running. This is a former quarterback who transferred in. He was at Campbell starting quarterback for years. And then he transfers to UNLV before Matthew Sluka. And he came to UNLV to be the quarterback. And then, obviously, they signed Matthew Sluka like a month later, and he beats out Malik, right? He beats out Williams. So now he's got no chance to get on the field. They said, hey, man, we'll move you to running back. Start running that shit. You're athletic. And there he is doing his thing. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What's disturbing to me is Ricky White getting his yard. I said Reggie White earlier. Did I? The sack master? No. Ricky White the third. I called him Junior, I think. Ricky White Jr. does follow me, by the way. His dad. He follows me on Twitter. But Ricky White going out here getting all these numbers. It's so cool because this type of production against a scrub-ass team has Vegas thinking he's going to do this against Kansas, and I don't agree. I think the production from the wide receiver room is going to take a huge hit this season because they don't have Maeva like last year. So you're not going to see nearly as many passing yards this year from UNLV. I think they're going to be a run-oriented team. Sluka's a running threat. He doesn't really throw all that much. It's not going to happen. And these guys are going to be paying the price. If you're a receiver at UNLV, it's going to be a long season for you. Long season. Defensively, Jalen Catalone doing his thing, looking great. Transfer, stud, looking great. They got a team, man. They go out there and they get after the ball. They find it. They do all those great things. I liked it. They even had a chance in this game to play their backup kicker, so that's pretty cool. I like when you can do that. Wyoming, the worst. Wyoming is trash. Quarterback play is bad. You lose to Idaho, who was coming off of a very emotional loss to Oregon, and they come out and they get this one done. Idaho's sneaky, not sneaky good. Idaho's legitimately good. But Wyoming, you score 10 points in the first quarter, and you never score again. You never score again. There's no semblance of offense, no semblance of a quarterback, nothing that you can rest your head on. They need Harrison Whaley. He's injured. He's a star running back transfer from NIU from Northern Illinois. Ironically, I just talked about them for 10 minutes. But this team has really good defenders, really good up front, all this stuff. But eventually, you're going to break. Your offense isn't moving the ball. You're going to break at some point. And they break, and they're broken, and they don't look good. I don't believe in Wyoming, and they got a really tough game this week against BYU. BYU's defense is much more stout than Idaho. Yeah, they're I don't know how these guys score. I don't know how they score. This Savoboda dude, trash. Speaking of trash, RicoKnows. I called this upset. The Vegas, for some reason, thought Air Force was good and made them the favorites. And I just said, no, we're taking San Jose money line. This is another one of those things where we got it right. Air Force, once they're trailing, they can't throw the ball. They tried to throw. They threw the ball 20 times. This is insane. You don't get 20 passes at Air Force. They can't complete any passes. They're getting 200. This guy cannot throw. John Busha can't throw. Can't throw. And shout out to San Jose State for proving me right, getting the win. They still didn't look great, and it's tough to look great against an Air Force defense. But Air Force offense, returning no production from last year. Nobody's looking to step up and really carry this team. But once you're trailing, they start throwing it, they look gross. Not real. It's not a real thing, bro. You can't be throwing it 20 times. And 7 completions? Some Anthony Richardson type numbers, I'm telling you. It's crash. It's crap, I should say. On the flip side, defensively, I want to give a shout out to somebody. You guys aren't going to know who he is, but Amir Wallace down here. Amir Wallace went to De La Salle High School when he was in high school. He has a twin brother. And Amir reached out to the channel. He reached out to me 2 years ago when he jumped in the transfer portal. So let me explain what happened. He was lightly recruited out of high school. Now, he went to De La Salle. Should have been recruited pretty good. He's a good DB, good corner. And he plays the right way, just a little undersized, but he and his brother were kind of a package deal. So they go play at San Diego, the Toreros. And he plays a year there, 2 years there, and he looks good. But he thought, hey, I could parlay this into an FBS opportunity. So he jumped in the transfer portal and got no interest from any FBS teams. Nobody was reaching out to him. So much so that no FCS teams were reaching out to him. So he reached out to me, talked to me in my DMs, and I did a couple things for him. Number one, I made a video for him. And he was the very first entry on my Next Up playlist. I have a Next Up playlist on TikTok. There's high school film reviews, but if you scroll through all the playlists, if you go to the homepage, there's all these playlists at the top. You can scroll through them, and you will see one called Next Up. He was the very first Next Up athlete I ever did. And I took that video, did my assessment, and I sent it back to his coaches at San Diego. And I said, hey, coach, this young man is still in the portal. No one is offering him, he and his brother, you think you want him back on your team? And San Diego Toretos offered him back onto his old team. He was so grateful to me. He reached out to me, called me on the phone, said, "Thank you so much, sir. I can't believe you did that for me." They accepted me back with open arms. You know, because when you walk away from the team and jump in the portal, sometimes they might not want you back. He went on to have an all-conference season last year at the FCS level. And then this time around, he jumped back in the portal. And this time, he went ahead and got signed to San Jose State, which is closer to home for him. He's from a Northern California kid. But shout out to Amir Wallace, man. I really appreciate him, and I appreciated him and his brother, and I did my film review on him, and I'm glad I had that impact on his life. And I hope that he gets more playing time, and I hope he ends up on more box scores and on more tape and things like that. But it's just a nice kid who I really believe in. And I actually, as much credit as he gives me, I give these young men credit because this is what started my platform, and for me to get where I'm at. It all started from talent evaluations, high school film reviews, getting familiar with the players, and then somebody seeing value in that, and me having the foresight and the idea to say, okay, I think I could advise gamblers on this with this information, right? It's a tough bridge to cross. You're evaluating huddle film. How do you get to Patreon and advising gamblers? Like it's not a straight path or trajectory to get to. You have to think out of the box to get there. You're a transfer portal expert, and you segue that into you're now a college football expert. Yeah, it was just a niche that was missing on those recruiting websites. Remember, recruiting websites, they talk about recruiting all year. It's all clickbait shit. It's all nonsense. It's all rumors. Top 8, top 10, top 6, 5, top 4, top 3. Oh, he's announcing tomorrow. All that bullshit. And then I noticed those websites were trying to talk about the transfer portal, and they weren't doing it intelligently, and they weren't doing it with accuracy, and they refused to tell the truth. They would just say, this is a 4-star. And I'd be like, wait, that's not a 4-star. It's a guy who's been on the bench for 2 years. And he's been on the bench because 3 stars beat him out. What are you doing? And that's what made me relevant, and that's what got me started. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Amir because my channel obviously has segued and moved into something different now, but I never forget like how it really started and how it really developed and the movement that caused it. My life is forever changed, guys. It'll never be the same. And I'm so grateful for it. And then shout out to Miss Kim Jones because every I'd say every week, every 2 weeks, we sit down and just kind of reflect on where we're at right now. And there's times we're driving in the car, we just share stories with each other about like our childhood or what we've been through or whatever in life. And we're just talking to one another about things, but we never forget like how this really started and how it's going. And sure, there's thousands of people on the Patreon. There's thousands of people on the Discord. And there's all these people. I get it. But the origin was a really small platform, just talking every single day. I used to do these live streams with 30 people every single day. That's why I don't care how many people watch. Because I know that I was always talking like this, always disinformed, when only 30 people would watch my videos. Nothing's ever changed. I'm giving out picks, making predictions. I can remember when I had 400 MVPs. No, I can remember when I passed 200 MVPs. When I started the MVP thing, I remember when I got to 200. I couldn't believe it. I was doing math. I was like, if I get 10, that's $250 a month. Oh my God, I have 200? And nowadays, I'm gaining 50 MVPs in a day. Like today is a 50 MVP day. My life has changed, and a lot of this has to do with Amir Wallace. So I appreciate that, dude. Shout out to him. Anyways, sorry about that. Northern Colorado Bears against Colorado State. Watch this game over. I think I watched it twice. One thing I want to say about these recruiting websites. You see this Peter Costelli here? Peter Costelli, coming out of high school, was a 4-star player. A bona fide, one of the top quarterbacks in America, committed to Utah. Then he couldn't win the Utah quarterback battle. Cam Rising's the starting quarterback, right? So he can't win the quarterback battle at Utah. And then he transfers to Troy. Can't win the quarterback battle at Troy. So he transfers to Northern Colorado, and he's the quarterback here. This is a guy that ran a 10.8 100 meters in high school. He's a superstar quarterback. It's great to see him at Northern Colorado. I can see him playing. This guy will give you fits, give you problems. Van Schild down here, the leading rusher at Colorado State last year. This is a good team, Northern Colorado, and they're still not winning. But I wanted to bring up Peter Costelli because as soon as I see him, I'm like, oh, I know Peter. And I go check his 24/7 profile, and these assholes have the nerve to go and change his rating to 3 stars when I know it was 4 stars. I know it. And let me tell you something. If you don't believe me, he was at the Elite 11, and more importantly, Elite Camp Throwing Session in 2019, UCLA. And more importantly, they did a whole scouting report on him. They don't do this on 3 stars. They don't do this on 3 stars. Write the whole paragraph and then say he's going to be a Power 5 starter and potential NFL draft pick. They don't do that on 3 stars. These idiots changed his rating up here to make him a 3-star, and now they're pretending like they didn't miss. They missed horrifically. He's not a bust. You just got it wrong. Just wanted to get that out there. Now, in the game. First thing I want to say is Braden Fowler Nicolosi, he and his father follow the channel. Dad talks to me a lot. You gotta show out, bro. You gotta play. Were you guys saving yourselves? You weren't going all out? You're keeping it simple? Justin Marshall ends up fumbling at one point in this game, but Justin Marshall's the guy. Keegan Hulls, he's a white guy. He's not any threat to be the starting running back. I don't know where that's coming from. Just got some playing time. It's cool. This is their guy. Justin Marshall's their guy. Braden Fowler Nicolosi needs to get it done. They're going to have to open it up this week against Colorado. Receivers, how would you like to be Dylan Goffney transferring from SMU? Armani Winfield transferred from Baylor, and you're out here getting 1 reception. You're out here not even getting any production in a game that should be a blowout. But Torrey Horton is him. Anytime he touches the ball, you got to hold your breath. He might go ham. And that's exactly what he did with his punt return. Torrey Horton returned a punt for a touchdown. I'm sure he did. Yeah, I watched it. 78 yards. Okay. Defensively, this is a team led by Jack Howell. Where is Howell? Henry Blackburn and Jack Howell. These guys are the leaders. These guys in the secondary. Remember, Blackburn's the guy that hit Travis Hunter last year and took him out the game. Those two are going to do the damn thing. And then obviously Jock. Man, what a name. Your last name is Jock. That dude's a baller. So they're going to figure it out this week. We'll see. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it'll be a shootout. Nevada, man, they're so good. Nevada's so good. They're putting up a fight against Georgia Southern. I talked about this yesterday when I talked about Georgia Southern. But when I look at Nevada, I just want to cheer for them, man. I just want to cheer for them. They're getting the most out of Brendan Lewis, Savion Red, Patrick Garwood. Looking great, man. Looking great. Figure it out. You got to get it done. They haven't quite got there. Drew Watts, once again, number 7 on tape. Let me double check that. Does he wear number 7? Drew Watts, number 7 on tape. Look at that. I know jersey numbers, guys, because I watch film. He's everywhere. He's so good. Drew Watts is great. I hope he ends up at a Power 5 school someday. Good team, man. Well-coached team. Well-coached team. They got to figure out. This is not the Nevada of old. This is not somebody you can laugh at and ignore. They're ready to play every week. They look good. And they've had a daunting schedule, and they look good in every game. It's pretty awesome. Nevada, sneaky good team. They're better than Air Force. Fresno State goes out, beats Sacramento State. Awesome stuff. Sacramento State backdoor cover. Fucking ridiculous. Mikey Keene, 2 interceptions, still throwing for 358 yards. Shout out to this Carson Conklin and Caden Bennett. It's a 2-quarterback system at Sacramento State. You know I'm a big fan of them guys. Their wide receivers follow me. Jared Gibson here follows me on TikTok. He actually has, I think, more followers than me. He's got like 1 million, I'm pretty sure. And he's always doing something. He's always making videos. The kids like watching his stuff. I think he's more focused on that. But he's a good player. He's a good player. Mac Delana was open every single play. Every single play. Nobody wants to cover Mac, and that's fine. What I need to see is Sherrard getting more carries than this, though. Or more production, I should say. 2.5 yards a carry. It's very frustrating to watch the offensive line not open the holes that I expect them to make. This is a 900-yard rusher and an entire offensive line coming back from last year. They should be dominating up front. Really like to see Joshua Wood in the game more. That's my guy, Joshua Wood. They're using him in Wildcat or letting him run the ball. He's a good quarterback. I want to give him a chance to play. Obviously, he's not going to play over Mikey Keene, but he's the future, and you better believe in him. Defensively, Nomura's everywhere. That's the USC transfer, former Corona Centennial player. He's everywhere, making great plays. Very impressed with him. Shout out to Devo. Devo looked good on tape. So did Corey Foreman. Both of these guys look good. Azillian Hamilton looking good. Like, these guys are playing fine for me. It's nice to see Raylan Sharp get a tackle. This is an FCS wide receiver, little guy, out there coverage and making tackles and getting things done. Pretty good stuff. Hey, man, I hope they figure it out. I really do. But I need Sherrod to be more productive on his carries if they want to impress me. I still think they're the best team in the Mountain West. Hopefully. Then we got San Diego State getting blanked by Oregon State. Shout out to Oregon State. Giovanni McCoy, transfer from Idaho. Jabari Johnson, transfer from Missouri. They go out there, not the greatest, but efficient. This is what the problem is right here. Oregon State has one strategy: line up and hit you in the mouth. And they're going to give their running backs all the carries. And they're just going to keep rotating these two dudes up front. Jam Griffin coming back home after transferring last year to Ole Miss, getting no playing time. Transferring back home. Was it Ole Miss or LSU? Ole Miss. Transferring back home. Now he's the star running back here. And Anthony Hankerson, the Colorado transfer, actually getting playing time. But they shut down Marquez Cooper. Marquez Cooper is 200 yards in opening week, and then he's out here getting 53 yards. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It was a boring game. I watch it, and I'm just sitting there just like, ugh. It was so boring to watch this game. There was no scoring until the fourth quarter for the most part, except for the early touchdown, and then Oregon State puts it on in the fourth, 2 touchdowns. But just bad football. And when I say bad football, I don't know if it's good defense or not, but it just wasn't. Not a lot of what's the word? Not efficiency. Not a lot of execution. Not a lot of execution. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Didn't look good. Shout out to them. But let's see who they're playing this week. So, Mountain West. UNLV's playing Kansas. Good luck. Nevada's playing at Minnesota. I actually think Nevada is going to be in a lot of trouble here. Minnesota hits. They play good defense. But Nevada's sneaky, bro. They might cover a spread. Utah State should be a damn shutout. Kennesaw State probably not beating San Jose State. What's the spread? 18? I don't like that 18. I think Kennesaw can actually score. Yeah, Kennesaw scored in every game they're playing, so I don't like that 18. Nah, I like Kennesaw to cover that spread. Sam Houston in Hawaii, you figure that out. Good luck. I like Sam Houston, but good luck. New Mexico at Auburn. It's 27 now. We got a new starting quarterback. I want it at 28 and a half earlier in the week. I want that at 28. I like New Mexico to score points. New Mexico's annoying, man. Devin Dampier can do that to anybody. Just hear me out. Devin Dampier, quarterback from New Mexico. Fun to watch. It's on ESPN2. Make sure you watch that game. Baylor Air Force, MVP level lock. Won't talk about it. Colorado State. Everybody's going to watch it. I'm sure the over's in play. Everybody's going to go score. Go score that thing. BYU, Wyoming. It was on the chart. I took it off. I like BYU. I don't know if they'll cover a 10-point spread. No semblance of offense. They're down to their third running back. Their quarterback sucks. Don't know if they're covering that minus 10. I can't imagine the over is going to hit either. Wyoming just got nothing. I think it's an ugly game. I think it's a 13-6 game or something. I think it's gross. 13-6 BYU, not covering the spread and winning the game. Cal should beat San Diego State. Yeah, 17.5 sounds doable. Cal should win by 21. Fresno State, New Mexico State. I think it's an MVP level lock. It might get off the board. New Mexico State's looking decent, man. 2 games in a row now. They've been covering the spread and putting up a bigger fight than people anticipated. And Fresno State's not looking as dominant up front as I imagined. So 19.5 is a lot of points. A lot of points. I like the over. I think New Mexico can put up like 20. I know it sounds crazy, but they played really well against Liberty. Yeah, I like the over a lot. I think Fresno State can put up 35 by themselves. Yep. All right, go to the chat one last time, and then I'll see you guys tonight at the live stream. Starts at 7, which is in about an hour. So we'll go to the chat, and then we'll end the show. Chat says absolutely nothing. Let's see what happens here. Heard the NI coach gave Freeman what he saw on tape and let them beat them down. Yep. That's exactly what happened. Good sportsmanship. You never heard of that? Oh, it happens all the time. I've heard of it. It's no problem. Coaches share film all the time. Coaches talk and give each other tips and tell them what they saw. That's very common. Very common. You might not have heard about it because nobody's saying it. And a couple reasons you don't want to say it. Number one, someone might get upset that you're helping the opposition, especially if you're ever going to play them again, if they're a rival or a conference foe. So they don't ever want to hear that. But there are teams that are helping other teams that you don't know anything about because they want to see you beat their rival. They want to see you beat somebody. So out-of-conference games happens all the time. I think it's more about Notre Dame needs to have that narrative that they're going to be harder to beat moving forward. Yeah, they're fixing their problems. That's the narrative. It's good to build a relationship with that coaching staff. If they keep losing, they won't be around much longer. You keep beating them, they won't be coaching staff anymore. You don't need to be friends with these guys. They're not going to be there forever. You don't need to be cool with anybody. Doesn't matter. You don't. Carly Jenkins says, same here. I thought it was a nice gesture, too. Yeah, it's a nice gesture. It's definitely a nice gesture. It's like if you beat somebody up in the UFC and then you invite them to your gym to teach them how to fight better. Very common. Very common. It's not that big of a deal. Right? Yeah. I beat you, though. I'm not letting you to my gym. I beat you. I want to fight you again and beat you again. I want more money. Filming an event, I don't want to miss these or the live stream. Oh, you'll be good. You'll be good. Hey, guys, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to wrap the show up. We don't want to be here long on game nights. I need to rest a little bit, and then I got a 1-hour live stream. Usually I take a nap in between these, just so if you didn't know. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate all you guys. And just remember, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all.